how using AI render anything 100 times faster and absolutely for free using just your computer. Hello, I'm Stefan, and today I want to show you how I use AI in my daily routine to speed up renders like 100 times. So I show you how from this to this just in 10 seconds. And all of this just using your computer. So let's take a look. So I will be showing you how I set up the ComfyUI flow that works together with Blender, and how do I render everything like 100 times faster using my computer absolutely for free. So here it is. This is my workflow using ComfyUI. So you have to pre-install ComfyUI. For all the things I used here, I prepared a document in Notion, and there are all the links, all the custom nodes, all the models, everything you basically need. I only not explain how to install ComfyUI, but I believe like you can find it out. So here it is. There is a flow there where we can load an image, which is absolutely flat. There is no shadows, etc. And here's the scene where I take it. Like we'll be able to play around. So you can see the scene in Blender quite flat and no shadows. And I actually intentionally disabled all the shadows. The only thing here, and you will later know why, is a contrast. I just added a very high contrast so we can actually distinguish the separate objects, and that's the main core thing. So, and from this image, doing some stuff, let's say I will explain all the things later, we're able to achieve this absolutely amazing result. I mean, and all this depends on your computer and your GPU. It will take you around like 10 seconds. But again, like if you guys have really good GPU, it can take like for 3-4 seconds. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And yeah, and then you have this result, and I able even to upscale it right away in my workflow. This is an amazing tool, worthwhile investment of your time. So let's get it started. So in my file, there's a few blocks. In my workflow, there's like few blocks, and let's actually start from the very beginning. So there's two nodes here. Basically, what's happening here is that we take an image, connect it to the image input, and then we set a task to do more detailed caption. This sort of pretty standard settings. We connect the download and load floor, which is a part of this custom nodes. Yeah, so from Florence to model, so you can see I'm already using it. Yeah, it will have all of this. And then you can see this will basically give me the description. But the direct description is not really what I need, because the scene looks quite flat, right? There's no shadows, I mean, and what I want it to do is to edit the description. So the next step will be prompt editing. And what it actually does is it takes a text, or in my case it's a prompt, and then with some instruction it do the modification. I mean, like think of it as ChatGPT or like Claude. It basically the same mechanism, right? So this is my instruction. I always say like, okay, you'll receive a prompt, which is the description of my image. Make it sound like it is something really cool, like real nice lightning. I mean, something nice landscape behind the windows, etc. But keep the important information about the colors, because again, like I want to be able to set up color in Blender and render them like here, keeping that information. So yeah, you can take a look here. Then there's one more step, is SDXL prompt styler, also a custom node. Like you can easily download it. Like I will explain everything here. About installation, I give all the tips just right after. The prompt styler is basically another step of editing your prompt. Here, you know, like instead of adding like photorealistic, all blah 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 blah, we will just choose something from these presets. In my case, because I'm doing like realistic renders, I choose art style hyperrealism. So here we're basically editing a prompt for our for diffusion model, right? So I will be here just in a moment, but before I show you one more step that we do some image retouch. So what's happening here is that we take an image, we do a little bit resizing because the SDXL model we're using is quite strict about the resolution you put inside, right? So it will be, and we work like as image to image, which means like we need to care about input. So I just do set resolution. I do a little bit of brightness and contrast, just slightly, but again you can adjust it. It depends like what images. I mean, maybe you do screenshot from SketchUp, right? So you can just do some settings here and you don't need to do any Photoshop, etc. So a simple procedure here. Then I do upscaling. It is optional, but I was playing around and I found out that if we do upscaling, well, basically what I do is not just upscaling, is I'm upscale and then resize back just to do this and trying to keep as much details as possible. So all these black nodes is for preview. They basically just show some intermediate result. So this is a ControlNet and this is SDXL basic image generation. So this is the main block. Let me break it down for you. So first thing here is to load the model. I believe you heard of them. And here I use Juggernaut XL, which is basically Stable Diffusion XL model XL 1.0 model. I actually attached the link where you can download it. The civitai.com is absolutely amazing website where you can find a lot of things related to ComfyUI. I mean, to all your needs. The only thing you need to know that there is some compatibility issues you need to take into account. Like for example, if you use SDXL, there are some additional things like LoRa and ControlNet, which we will cover just in a moment. They need to be actually developed for that main model. So in our case, SDXL is our main model. The main model has three outputs: the model, which is connected to LoRa and then connected to a model, clip, which is basically prompting thing, and clip here is split into prompts, like positive prompt and negative prompt, and we actually get all this thing from our prompt here. And there is our CR apply multi-ControlNet, which is basically applying control nets. And K-sampler is where we do all the magic. We take all the inputs and using SDXL create an image. After that, we just need to decode it, and here we go. Here's the result, right? So, few things. What I just mentioned is LoRa and ControlNet. Let's start with the ControlNet. Here we go. ControlNet actually designed to give us more control. Well, I mean, obviously, right? Give us more control of what's is gonna be generated, right? What's gonna be generated? I create a depth image from my image using ComfyUI ControlNet node. Here, basically, you can create a lot of them, but not all of them are supported. So you need to check which one is supported by SDXL. I create depths and canning, which show outlined version of my image, which later is used as a prompt. So here is a ComfyUI node that helped me to combine multiple control nets. And you can see there's a switch 1 and this one, and switch 2, this one. Where basically on, you can connect one more and they are off by the third one off, not used. Then you just need to adjust the control net strength, like how strong this will take effects on the final image, right? So these are more or less nice values, but you can play around with them more. If you need model to follow all the lines more accurate, it's not enough accurate as you think, you can add more value here and you do it precisely. But using like 1, which is 100%, right, not really gives us very good result. And then it's connected to general flow before we do sampling, right? Some basic setup here, but what is really interesting is SFG, which is how we actually follow the prompt. This value is going like from the recommended settings from the Juggernaut model, so we don't really need to adjust it. You can play around, but the result will be not that good. But what you can really play with is steps. So playing like around, this is how many iterations is done before you get the final image. So you can play around with like 20 to 40 and find what's best for you. The seed actually can randomize. You can just, I mean, enter manual value. Well, basically what this means, seed, is that like whenever you have the same value, the result will be exactly the same if the input is not changed, right? All these settings also comes from the model recommended setting, but the one interesting thing here is denoise. When we send image here as a prompt, as a latent image, right? So this basically takes an image and cover with noise. And the noise level is how much noise it would actually add. So the more noise, the less it will recognize the original image and take some details from there. But from the opposite side, right, less noise, the more it will look like the original image, or maybe it will actually not change anything because it will look one by one. It's just too much of effort. You can play around with this value in a range of 1.8 and 1.95, I think, and see how it results. In my case, because I have all the information about lines and depths here from the ControlNet, I need image to image to transfer to additionally transfer the color information, right? I do that with the prompt as well, but I mean, never enough. We're working with AI. I found out that like value something like 92 give more precise results. It's just enough to do the job. And one last thing here, which you might be not familiar, is LoRa, which stands for low rank adaptation. So LoRa is something you can use along with main model that will improve your results by teaching it on top, right, to do some specific task. Like in my case, it might be interior, right? You can see this is LoRa, and this is LoRa for base model SDXL 1.0. And you can read the description that if I use it, like I can expect my interior to be quite nice, like because it's additionally trained to do nice interiors. But it actually adds additional prompting and teaching the model to do something maybe she doesn't do good before. Giving you an example, if you need to do clouds and SDXL model doesn't do clouds really nice by default, you can find a LoRa that actually is trained to do nice clouds, use it here, and I mean, you will have the result. And the very last step of the whole process is upscale. Quite simple. We load the upscale model. This one can be loaded directly from the manager. Then we do upscale image using that model, and 0.5 means it will be increased like 2 times in size, in resolution. And yeah, you can see like it really works. So see this original image, and here's the output. So let's try it out. Let's do another image and let's give it a try. Actually, for this case, let me do something crazy. I will just do it like this, because again, like, we're talking about rendering anything, right? Not only interior. So the only thing I don't want maybe to see a black screen, right? So I did the screenshot of a flower, and let's go back and choose the file here. All right. And let's see what may happen, but I think I will need to edit a little bit a positive prompt because it is not real estate photography anymore, right? Let's just remove this, and here it mentions the furniture specifically, right? Describe it as photorealistic awesome render. I mean, good enough. There is no windows. Oh, that's enough, right? Let's run it and see how it goes. As you can see the process, here we get the description. Overhead a view of clear glass vase on a great table, blah blah blah. Amazing. A stunning modern living room with its pristine with walls and I guess it's still processing, my bad. So here we are. It is, you can see like this part is done, and I can see now it describes our render in details as asked. How we can see here sample image post processing, like so just adding a little bit of contrast. Yes. Okay, so let's see how depths works, right? So like here's the depths. There is the canny. Well, I guess the floor here makes some noises, but let's see how it figured out. So, oh my god. I mean, this is actually more beautiful than I actually imagined. The cotton looks so real. I don't like it missed the information about the floor, but I probably need to a little bit play around with the denoise. It has too much freedom to play with colors, but again, like still. And let's take a look on the upscale version. I mean, like this is just more beautiful. Wow. Yeah, just adding like this small. Well, that's it. I mean, I really hope this will be very useful for you guys. I use it in my daily routine. It saves me a lot of time. You can play around with different models. You might have heard of like Flux, Stable Diffusion Tree, or other models. You can take a look on the whole range here, like quite a lot of them. 3.5, quite interesting. Flux, very promising. I use SDXL here because it has a lot of ControlNet stuff. Relatively old, so a lot of LoRa's and ControlNet exist for it. For Flux, there's not much of them, but still already have some stuff. So guys, also a few tips about how to install it. So there is a workflow itself. So the very first thing you need to do is install ComfyUI Manager. When you have this done, it is extremely easy. Just load the workflow from here. Just open the workflow I provided. Then go to the manager, install missing custom nodes, and it will install 80% of all nodes used in this project. You will then need to close and restart the ComfyUI, and it will install all the dependencies, etc. The few things might need extra attention here is Florence and Surge LLM. If you experience any difficulties to install this model automatically, just go to the GitHub and see the instruction how to install it and where to download the models they use. So for the Florence, for example, you don't need to download anything. I added the link, but it should be totally fine here. On the first run, it will download it automatically. For the Surge LLM, there is a Mistral 7B model that you will be able to download either by my link here, or you can go to the GitHub and download it from there. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope that was helpful and you learned something new. I encourage you to play around. Again, guys, this is really powerful tool. Use it, play around. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know like what cool things you can do with that. Speak later.